Hey! Okay. Once again, having issues going live. And you know what? All I did was hit refresh, and here I am. Crazy. So all these other times that I have restarted, blah, 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 I guess refresh might be what works today. My name is Chris. I'm coming to you live from my stamping room in Worthington, Minnesota, where it is a balmy 64 degrees and a little gloomy out. There is some sunshine, but also very cloudy. So we're still waiting on summer. I am here for my very last challenge of Double Dog Dare. I threw out the request for people to dare me to make a card. I got 9 requests. Then I turned off the comments. I probably would have had a lot more, and I may do this again. If you guys like it, let me know. But this is number 9. So today I'm doing a card for Jen Binkard, and she has requested some motivation to make a 50th birthday card for her husband with a mountain theme. So let me turn the camera down and we'll get started. I have a few things prepared, but other than that, again, I'm winging it. My friend in Australia has a Wing It Wednesday. I should do a Wing It Wednesday. All right, so I have a card base, half of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, scored at 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a second layer. This one is Old Olive, and the next layer is Mossy Meadow. I cut that a 1/4 of an inch smaller, so 4 by 5 1/4. And the next layer that I'm going to be decorating is a 1/4 of an inch smaller than that. So this one is 3 3/4 by 5. All right, let's set the card base out of the way and that layer. I don't think I need my trimmer right now. I pulled out some scraps. I have an idea, so let's see if it works. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is, using just a scrap, I'm going to punch a 2.5 inch circle. And in hindsight, I'm going to do that again. Hang on. That's not what I wanted to do. I want a bigger piece. Let me pull out, whoops. And it, you know what, it didn't even have to be white. Let me just use this very vanilla. And I want to do it more in the center, as centered as I can be, because I'm using this as a mask. Okay, bringing in Balmy Blue and my blending brush. So the first thing I'm going to do is kind of center that ish. And hang on, I'm making sure my phone is on silent. I got a new phone, and I need to mess around with the button on the side here. It's a little different. I used to just be able to switch it down. All right, so we're going to make a blue circle in the back, and I want it to be fairly light. Hang on to everything here. Fairly light. Okay. Step 1. Ooh, it's not centered. I'm going to try that again. Let me find the center of this. 1.5. The center is at 1.5. It looks centered to me, but you know, I probably should have measured it. Actually, it probably would have been better. We're going to try it one more time. We're going to make it not centered. We are going to make it not centered. We're going to put it over here. And then I don't need to worry about it, right? All right. There we go. We'll do something else with those. Maybe just a little bit darker. Maybe just a little bit darker. This is the beauty of the glass mat. I can reuse the blue that was over there, and on a piece of paper, scrap paper, I wouldn't have been able to do that. All right, so we're starting with that, and now let me wipe that off, or I will get my hand in it. Okay, I've got what I would call mountain colors in a variety of scraps, including even a piece that had a mistake on it. All right, so I'm going to attempt to tear some mountains. Right? They don't have to be perfect. And I am leaving the rough side. I'm leaving the rough side. Okay? Going to do the same thing out of this paper. Again, these are scraps. I'm going to make some a little taller, some a little shorter. And let's do this one. Do a little one over here. And again, I didn't practice this. This is one of those that would be hard to practice, although the more you make, probably the better they would get, right? Okay, you see what I got going here, right? Okay, I'm going to bring in, should have brought over, hang on, Crumb Cake. Crumb Cake ink pad. I might also use Early Espresso. We'll see. Let me just practice on one of these pieces here to see how much. Yeah, I think Crumb Cake will work. All right. And I know I don't need all of this, but I don't know what I want cut off yet. So I'm just leaving this intact for right now. There's also a little bit of a darker tone on this sponge, and I am okay with that. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to use all of these, but I want them available in case I do. So, one more. These sponges come in a circle, or it's I don't want to call it round. It's not round. A circle, right? It's like a donut without a hole in the middle. And then I cut them into sections, and I kind of designate them for specific colors. I know some people put fancy little handles on them. I'm not that organized. They can be a little tricky to get into these crevices, but I think I did okay. All right, let me set that away. I'm also going to just dry wipe this off because sometimes you get a little bit of flex. All right, so card base, mountains, probably want these, I don't know, I think I need the biggest one in the back, right? All right, let's go ahead and trim this off. This card needs to be 3 3/4, so this one needs to be trimmed, I'm sure. 3 3/4 by 5. Okay, and then this needs to be 3 3/4. I'm going to cut off, I'm going to make it a little longer so that I can just trim it with my snips if I need to. Well, that's not 3 3/4, Brower. There we go. Okay, we're cutting that off. Three 3/4. And ooh, that one is going to be just perfect. I don't know how that worked. All right. But we also need room for some of the green on the bottom. Okay, well, let's go ahead and cut or rip a couple of these. I'm doing the same thing with the Mossy Meadow. No, Old Olive. And I don't want them to look too much the same, which is, can be part of the problem. Let's go way over here with this one. Because, my fingers have muscle memory, apparently. All right. So they're a little bit wide. It's okay. This is live TV and live tearing. Not everybody would attempt this. Not everybody is as unprepared as me. But that's the way I roll, right? Okay, and then we need one more set, like out of the Mossy Meadow. So I've had kind of a busy day already today. Had a couple meetings. I addressed all kinds of cards today for Mail a Card Monday. So I've been to the post office, served an ice cream bar to some of my good friends at a meeting, and all right, let's make some magic here. I don't have the artistic eye here, probably is part of the problem in me not knowing exactly. Like, I feel artistically like the smaller mountains should be in the front, but I also don't really roll that way. Let's put this one here. I just kind of go with what feels good and what looks good on paper. Let's see, now I want the green ones in the front. Oh, I'm liking this. Are you seeing it happening, people? Are you seeing it happen? I like that one there. We are going to need one more over here in that color, right? And then we're going to come in at the bottom here. Oh my gosh, I'm loving it. All right, now let's see. Let's see if I can get this all put together. I am going to try to pick this up. Look at the back. Hot, hot mess. Hot, hot mess. I'm going to trim away some of this so it's not quite so thick. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring in my tear tape, and I am going to kind of try to make one big piece here, knowing that I'm going to have to trim off a lot on the edges. I do know that. And that dark green, the Mossy Meadow is under there only to hold this all together. My goodness, I'm out of tear tape. How does that happen? All right, we're just going to put it like that. Now I'm going to hold it back over here. Isn't that cool? Okay, now we're going to glue it on here. Oh, I left my glue open while I was gone. Totally my fault. I might have to stick a pin in here. Maybe not. All right. This bottom light green was almost exactly the right size. So that's what I'm using to line up here. Now I'm going to make sure that I didn't get any green on my surface. I don't think I did. All right, let's bring in my trimmer and let's go ahead and trim this off. I'm just going to use my scissor because I know that way I can get it right up to the edge. Look at that. Look at that. There is a little tiny bit showing right there, but I'm not going to worry about it because I'm not done yet. Okay, let me get rid of all this junk. All right, now I'm going to bring in, this is retired, don't freak out, but these are from the Painted Trees, the Frosted Forest dies and stamp set. They're retired. The only thing that's not retired is the folder, the embossing folder, which is cool. And I thought about using this, but then I decided I think that I want to cut a few trees out of this. And, or maybe a different shade of green. Let's see. No. No, no, no. I think it's the Mossy Meadow I want. So let's find some Mossy Meadow scraps. And let's use that one. All right. That's pretty big. You know what? I just had an idea. Let me look in my two-toned cardstock. I don't think I have one that's the two-toned Mossy Meadow. Yep. Same, but a two-toned would have been really cool. Ooh, maybe this one. That. Let's use that side. All right. The two-toned cardstock. To the rescue. All right. It's just going to give me a little variation of this color. Okay. So let me trim off a little piece of this so that I can get a little bit of variety. Okay, I'm going to go off camera here, but I'm going to cut out these two trees using my Stamp Cut embossing machine. And for the beauty of live TV, not live TV, but you don't get to see it, you get to hear it. Okay, let's see what I got here. So this is the two-toned cardstock, and I thought it would just give us a little bit of another shade. It does. It's very big, but let's go ahead and do one there and one there, and I'll even cut I'll even maybe cut one off there, huh? Maybe this is the color I don't love on here. Let me take that off once and see what happens if, all right, never mind. Let's try Old Olive Trees instead. And I think I just need two of these. Did you see that I folded that in half? I'm going to cut two at the same time. It's a nice, easy, straight cut, no detail. If I run back and forth and back and forth, I should be able to get two at the same time. Work smarter, not harder, right? So I actually went back and forth one time, and it cut that out nicely. Okay, so now I think this is the color I want on here for trees. So I need a little bit of filler. Sorry, folks. Sorry, this is taking me longer than I expected. Let's put some little, I don't know, whatever you call these. I guess a little bit of forest down here. Everything is sticking to my plate today. To my glass mat. I think it's humid out. It's very humid. And I'm feeling it in here. Okay, got that. Trim that off. I'm going to go ahead and attach this to my back. I'm not putting ribbon. This is a masculine card, and I'm not popping this up. I've already got enough thickness so far anyway. doesn't mean I might not decide to pop up a tree. We'll see. All right, something is sticky on here today. I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive under these. Just, I don't know, so they're not catching on things. All right, got that, got these trees. This one got some sticky stuff on it from my Post-it note, which that's never happened before. Bring out the adhesive eraser. Okay, that helped. Okay, so now we've got a tree and another tree. No, a tree and a tree, I think, huh? And I think I'm going to cut them both off flat to match the bottom of the card. Okay. So this one is going to go here. And this one is going to be even smaller. Okay. And I did say I might pop those up, but I don't think I'm going to. Let's just go ahead and glue these on flat. And then I think I'm actually going to log off, and I will post the finished card because I really don't want to make you hang on here much longer. This one needs a little bit of green so it doesn't get lost on top of that other one. So let me quick dauber the edge of this one. I wonder if I can still do that. That helps, doesn't it? Is it too late? Never. Never too late. Well, I shouldn't say never, but this time maybe not too late. It's close here though. It's close. All right, now I think my glue is still moist. There we go. There we go, you guys. Okay, it is not done, but, and you know what? On camera, there you go. There is a blue behind there. I'm going to add the sentiment and the inside, and you'll have to go back to my Facebook page where I post the pictures of the finished card. Thanks for joining me today, and we'll see you next time. Oh, I have such a mess. I can't even find my mouse. There we go.